podcast where we discuss random topics with random friends. Today, the panel is made up of me, Jarrell, Amber, BB, and last but not least, Jay. Everybody introduce yourselves real quick.
Who goes first?
Jarrell, go first. They know me. It's my channel.
Hello, my name is Jarrell Richardson. Me and him have been best friends since high school. If you read his book, Powerless, the main character is based off of me. So
you the
read
fuck
the
up.
book. There you go.
All right. Amber?
Hello. Brandon and we met on an anime group.
Yeah.
Anime group, and we just started talking. I think I jumped in his DM, and I don't know what I said. I think I was geeking out about Zelda or something, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Because I've never played a Zelda game.
Oh yeah, and
What?
I still heard about.
You know what? At this point, I'm surprised by nothing what you say.
That means I just have to try harder.
Wait.
BB?
So my name is BB, and me and Brandon have known each other for like 10 plus years, some shit like that. I'm glad to be here.
Simple. And last but not least, Mr. Six Comics himself.
I was going to ask you,
writer,
professional or personal?
Writer of Forbidden Power. You know, give us the quick intro. You know.
Hi, how you guys doing? I'm Jay. I am the CEO and owner of Sick Comics, and I publish our comic Forbidden Power, working on another one known as Entity. I'm also the CEO of RALSI, which stands for Reality as We See It, which Brandon came up with that name. Brandon and I, we met basically through we met through Greg, but the idea was to bring different creators together to actually help fund and push out other independent creators because we get overshadowed by big groups like Image, Marvel, and DC. So we're working on basically creating RALSI, which is going to be a nonprofit organization to help push out other independent artists like ourselves.
Fuck Disney.
What he said. And Sick Comics is my personal. I'm also the lead host of Blurred Talk, which is basically I bring him and the other Jay together, and basically we just literally talk shit on everything we like or dislike.
Most of my segments are basically fuck Marvel and Disney.
Yes, it really is. It makes it entertaining, though.
I like Marvel.
But today we're going to be discussing topics that my boy Jarrell here has brought up. Jarrell, do you want to start the conversation off? Or you want me to kill it? I'll start it. Okay. So we have a mutual friend. We're going to say mutual friend. And we're going to discuss basically how you feel about people not dating an entire race because of the issues they've had dating certain people in that race. We have a friend who's not dating black men anymore because of the 3 choices she's made. And I can vouch that she dated the same type of person every time. As a friend, I've been there to see, like, this is the exact same guy with a different hat. But, you know, and getting the same result, and now from the choices that she made, I'm not going to necessarily say mistakes, she doesn't want to date black men anymore. And I told her, from my point of view, it may be that personality type that you're going after, and that can be found in any race. I mean, you might be attracted to a personality and look for that exact thing in white guys, Indian guys, Asian guys, and get the exact same result because you're going after the personality. It has nothing to do with the race. So, what do y'all think?
If I may speak on it, I feel like it's immature. Like, you cannot judge an entire race based off of experience. And I say this as a person who's been in like god awful relationships. And like, just not to get personal, I've had, like I thought we talked about this, Brandon. I had one girl just completely ghost the shit out of me. Said she loved me and everything. We had a relationship, and then like 2 months later, poof, turns out when I actually find her, she's married to some dude in Florida. So, but you have to understand like who you pick in your life and the people you are with. You can't hate an entire race because of your experience. There's literally 7 billion people in the world. Not everybody's the damn same.
And that's what I was trying to like bring up to her. Oh, what? It's your discussion.
She's like, where am I again?
I'm like listening to the combo.
The entire thing is your idea.
It leads into what my questions are, but I don't believe any of her past, experiences should deter her from talking to one specific race of people.
But a lot of people think that way, believe it or not. Honestly, Brandon knows me. I'm the type of person, I like to go diving into the deep web, and I find shit that is really disturbing there. Shit I honestly don't like. Not that, you nasty motherfucker, not that. You find like, how can I say this? Everybody seen like the trend of racist videos that's been going on TikTok lately?
Yes, Lord Jesus.
Shit like that. Like I can't tell you the number of like videos I scroll past of beautiful young sisters saying they hate black dudes and they like white guys over black dudes, and the reason they're saying this is reasons of like, oh, they act like this, they act like that, they act like this, they act like that. Like, no, maybe the person you're associating yourself with acts like that. Like an attitude like that is not secular to one race. That's just stupidity.
Yeah. If anything, it's grounded more in the personality or the environment in which they are. If you grew up seeing nothing, it's like when we grew up, I mean, it would be very easy for one of us to be like, well, I'm never dating black women again. But that's not the mindset we have, because I mean, not all black women are the same, not all black men are the same.
But then I pose the question too, at what point do you transcend your own like environment? I mean, we are products of our environments. I grew up in North Philadelphia, an area they used the police nickname the Badlands. But at that point, as I grew older, like we talked about it before, like I had my areas, I had my issues, but at a certain point in my life, I was like, yo man, I gotta let this shit go. It's holding me back. It's not helping me succeed. So at what point do you take personal responsibility for your life to transcend your own environment?
And that brings me to my question. How old is she?
That's a good question.
She is, actually, I can go look right now.
I'm about to say, because if we're going to that time, okay, I get what she means, and I kind of see where people say I won't date a certain race because of whatever their excuses are. But to me, they're personally just excuses. Me personally, I'll date anybody, doesn't matter. However, if I notice a type of trend after dating a certain person who's of a certain race, I'll be less lenient to talk to that race. For example, I wouldn't mind dating a white boy, but they're probably going to be my last go-to. I don't want to have to explain to white people what a kitchen is when it comes to my hair. I don't want to have to explain why I feel some type of way when this motherfucker over here is sitting up there sucking on a bottle cap, trying to make their lips bigger, talking about who I look like. Like, it's just certain stuff you go through, and with people of certain ages from certain parts of the world. Personally, I know, no offense, I'm from Maryland. I don't really want to date nobody else from South Carolina. It's something about this South Carolina mindset when it comes to our black men that has them so confused that they just don't know how to lead, or they don't know exactly who they want to be. So it just depends on what kind of person she is. You do have some people who will say, I won't date black people, I won't date white people, I won't date Asians. Some of it is stupid. Like, I have a homegirl who say, well, I won't date Asians because they got little dicks. How the fuck you know? Have you fucked at least 75% of the Asian population? You don't know. But at the same time, some of that is rooted when it comes to your family. Like, can I bring this person home to my family? Will my family judge me if I say something? Will my family disown me? So it's so many different avenues we could hit just off this topic alone. So how old is she?
True. She is in her, I'll say she's in her late 20s. Okay, just in case this person watches this episode.
The share kind of a little personal what she said. So it's no secret to Brandon. Me and him, we like I said, we're close. But if anybody, people who do know me, my wife is Japanese. When I was stationed in Japan for 4 years, I happened to find my wife over there. Now, when I came back home and I brought my wife home to meet my family, it didn't really go over so well with a lot of people. And in fact, my youngest sister, God rest her soul, literally looked at me and was like, "Really?" I was like, "What do you mean, really?" She's like, "Why is it? What's with black dudes and Asian?" I was like, "It had literally nothing to do with that." I said, "It just happened." I mean, Japan is full of Portuguese, Brazilian, black chicks, white chicks. It's not. I mean, there's a lot of people over there who are not just Japanese. I dated the African girl while I was in Japan. I said it came down to this was a woman that legitimately gave a fuck about me. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it was someone who gave a damn about my well-being. I didn't have to prove anything. I didn't have to try to be someone I wasn't. In fact, with, like I said, I had my history of terrible relationships. She came in my life at one of my worst points of my life. So she came to me in one of my worst personas. And when the whole idea is take me as I am or leave me as I be, she took me as I was. I knew a lot of people who seen my anger, who seen my temper and fled for the hills. And she saw all of that. And all she literally said to me when I like first blew up on her was like, "I understand you've been hurt in your past." She's like, "But I just want you to be happy." At that point, it wasn't no, "Oh, I'm not that person from your past. Don't blame me for that." Those words just resonated with me. She's like, "I just want you to be happy." And at that point, it literally had me looking like, damn, what the fuck am I doing with my life? So, but there is a stigma. Like there is a stigma. And the problem is we have an issue even in like multiple cultures. We fetishize different races. I mean, come on, how many people do you know go after black chicks just because of the quote unquote assets that they have?
A lot. But won't marry them. Get pregnant, but won't marry them.
Exactly. You cannot fetishize a culture if you're not ready to be invested in that culture. Mm-hmm. When I married my wife, I understood. I had a deep understanding of Japanese culture. I like to sit down and actually experience cultures. The Kenyan girl I dated, I was actually learning Swahili while I was dating her. Because if you're going to be with somebody, you have to dive into their culture to communicate with them better. You just can't say, "Hey, I want to marry you because I like what you are. I like where you come from." I mean, in a sense, that sounds racist as it is in itself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff to be like kind of dissected with this whole conversation, and it's not just like the idea of if you should or should not judge. Like you said, what kind of black guys has she been dealing with in her life that does not reflect all black men? On top of that, who are they role models? What kind of men raised them, if any? What kind of women raised them?
Right. I will say, speaking on the environment thing that you talked on and Baby talked on, the South gets a bad rep because it's the masses that are technically seen that way or blown up that way. People like me, Jarrell, our friends, we're kind of low key. There's not a lot of us here, you know. Like, even if we talk about like nerd culture, we don't get that a lot in the South. Like, it's basically a very small group, as opposed to like Atlanta, North Carolina, or New York and stuff like that.
Oh, bro, I feel you. I'm in
California.
It's like one Comic-Con here.
Yeah.
It's like
we up to three. We up to three, baby. We up to three.
It was one in Columbia.
3 P. But like you were saying, it's difficult to pinpoint that. And I have dealt with, like, I know Jarrell has the preconceived notion of what a black man or a black woman is when it comes to stuff like that. You know, I've been told, look at me. I've been told, like, as a black man, I have hoes, or I look, or I give off a personality type. This girl told me this while I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I just want to paint the scene. I just want to paint the picture for you all.
I'm just trying to visualize this right now.
Like, I think she thought I was playing like spades or some shit because I had the sleeves. I got the sleeves on my cards and stuff. I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time. I mean, I wasn't like had a gun on my lap, perched up a certain way. I was like this. And then she came over and I was like this. I mean, I had the play mat. Like, it was college. This was college.
You was full nerding out. You was basically full nerd.
You can ask BB. I was not ashamed to be myself in college.
Best years of our lives.
Like, I used to walk around with a Super Saiyan hairdo. I had BB. I had my hair permed, spiked up, the little taff coming down, the low part.
So you basically walked into like the session and was like, "Fuck your opinion."
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't a game.
I love it.
It wasn't a game.
I love it.
It was so perfect.
But like, people will see you and not see you. They will just see what they want to see when they look at you. And that's one thing that I had to like explain. Me and this girl are friends now, but like, it was very, like, my group of friends from college is my group of, all of us as friends are an exception to the very thing we're talking about. We aren't our color. We aren't the stereotype that people give us. We may have traits. We may be different pieces of the negative, but
so I kind of want to pause you on that part when you said we aren't our color, and I kind of want to touch on that one because there's like a negative connotation that goes with all that. And I mean, the thing about it is, and I'm pretty sure you heard it before, like this. For example, listen to how I speak. Now, back from where I'm from Philadelphia, this was called talking white.
Always.
But man, it wasn't a day in my life where I couldn't open my mouth and someone would berate me. Why are you trying so hard to be white? Like, look, bro, that's just the way I talk. And honestly and truly, at the time I was mad at my grandma, but I thank her as I grew older, because when I was trying to learn how to read, the woman literally threw a dictionary at me.
That's one way to do it.
Literally threw a dictionary at me and told me to start just picking words and making sentences. But like, it developed my vocabulary and my understanding of words. So I walked into situations having a much more robust vocabulary than most people. It's honestly harder for me to find smaller words than it is for me to find bigger words when I talk. It's really, and I hate it. I do it to this day because we, like, especially in my job in the military, when you're trying to talk to people, they be like, "You're talking down to me." I'm really not.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, even us, we have to do that too, because like where we are, we're geeky, but you don't really hear it when we speak.
But that's the thing, though, is like, we get it from both sides. Like, for the people who see you just as a black person, they assume you want to act thuggish or they hood, or you have to have this personification of who you are. But to our own people, we're outcasts in a group of outcasts because the way we act, it's not hood. Like, anime and comic books is a trend now, thanks to basically all the movies and stuff going on. We're not going to act like, not 15 plus years ago, you had to fight a motherfucker just to probably read a damn comic book in peace.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude. And the thing is, people are so quick to hide who they are or willing to just put on a front to just put out that stereotype.
Because people are afraid, man.
Yeah, but it's done more so in the media, and that's the thing. Like, people will watch. I don't know how many movies I can tell you where they normalize cheating among black men.
Oh yeah.
Like, that pisses me off too.
Okay, can I say this, please? Why is it always the dark-skinned brother? Why is it always the dark-skinned brother? And the light-skinned brother is like,
that's Tyler Perry. That's Tyler Perry.
No,
if we being real.
Hold up, back up, no, because it's a brother in general. What they do is, with the darker brother, they'll sit up here and be like, "Oh, he's a demon because he is cheating." Because not only is he cheating, but he's beating on her. He don't have no job. He have like 27 kids. But let the light-skinned brother who is cheating, oh, he's cheating too. He's having sex with all these people and giving people STDs, but at least he ain't beating on her, or at least he ain't sitting up here sleeping with another man, or they just make it seem lesser of the two evils.
So they're trying to say she's lucky because the evil is not as bad on one side. That's
right, because see, this is what y'all got to remember when it comes to the media. A brother is a brother. However, the lighter the berry, the closer you are to being white, the more you are accepted. But the darker the berry, then the more tainted you are.
I go with Tupac's "The Sweeter the Juice." I'll leave it at that.
No, I love that one, but I'm saying this is how, because I'm dark skinned. I am dark skinned. I love it. Shoot, I wish I could show y'all.
I love it too.
But
I just think
that's how they do it. Like the light skinned brothers get it too. It's just y'all the lesser of the two evils.
But they normalize it so much though. That's the like, so they normalize it so much, and that's the issue, to where it's become so normalized. People honestly don't see the fault when they do it. Like, how many of you guys here know a model by the name Bria Miles?
I've heard of it.
So when in 2012, when I was like going, so what I do is like kind of like Brandon, I like to base my my characters in my comic off of like actual people. So I was looking for like a model or just like a realistic model to base one of my characters off of. I stumbled upon Bria Miles, one of the most gorgeous women I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And as I'm like basically scrolling, this is when time I was deployed to Spain, and my roommate, he's like, damn, she cute for a dark-skinned girl. And man, I got so pissed off. He was a brother too, and he did not understand why I was upset. I was like, why couldn't you just call her fucking beautiful? He's like, because most dark-skinned girls ain't beautiful. And then the whole conversation, it was a whole argument. A couple of slurs got thrown in there. And after a while, he was like, bro, why are you so upset? I said, because this kind of fucking shit is the issue we deal with today. I was like, do you not realize like what you just said? I was like, you just basically said it's rare to see someone of dark skin be beautiful. You're basically just painting a picture that they've painted about us for hundreds of years. And he's like, you're going too deep in this. He's like,
that's the only way to go with it.
Like, there's no way to go. But then see, here comes one of my most hated insults. Yo, man, you acting like a modern day Dr. King. Stop acting like that. What?
I hate that.
Dr. King was one of our greatest leaders. Why would you want to be modeled after him? like he's right. Why wouldn't you want to be modeled after him, right? What? And this reminds
me of that post I saw on Facebook. It wasn't a group that Brandon and I were part of, but someone else shared it. And I guess to him, he thought it was a good idea in his mind. Like, sometimes you think stuff in your mind, and then when you actually say it, it's like, maybe I shouldn't have said it. This was one of those times. He said that, shout out to all the pretty ladies in this group. You guys are really breaking the stigma or the stereotype. And to me and to the other group, we're just like, why does it have to be breaking the stereotype? Like, I know people say if someone likes anime or video games, then they're not very attractive. So I guess to him, it just made sense. However, people in the group were just like, no, it's nothing like that. Like, beauty has nothing to do with what you like or what you're interested in.
Right.
This is true.
Yeah.
See, like, if you're beautiful, you automatically can't like to play sports. You have to prefer to go shopping. Or
you can't be smart, or you can't watch anime or play video games, or
it's irritating because it's a combination of the media and your family. Because just like the brothers, they do us the same way. Where if we're in some kind of movie or TV show or whatever, we're either the slut, the whore, or the angry black woman, or the woman who's pushing her friend to be alone because we're alone. Like, what the fuck? Or we're the single black woman with no job and living off of government assistance.
We feed into our own stereotype at times.
Yeah.
We really do.
I mean, and the truth of the matter is, I would love to speak on this because I work in a occupation where they want me to they love it when I run to the black neighborhoods, because they just automatically assume, since you're black, they'll adapt more to you versus me. And not only that, I'm the only female and black female at my occupation right now, and surrounded by white men. So it is a little irritating when I'm at work and I'm trying to let you guys know, like, okay, we're not supposed to be doing things this way, because if we do, we'll be called attention to us, and then lawsuits will be filed, and people can get locked up and stuff like that. And the first comment that they say is like, well, you know how the black women get. Like, no, sir, tell me how black women get? Please explain. Well, y'all be getting so angry when y'all don't like. Why do you feel like I'm getting angry? Because what I'm telling you is the truth? Because how I'm saying it is intimidating to you because you didn't think that this black woman actually knew what the fuck she was doing? Like, what's the real situation here?
I think sometimes when people speak with so much enthusiasm, like as we, as some of us do, they get like taken back a little bit. I don't know, like what's going on. Like, but you have to just
speak with confidence.
Understand the emotion.
Right.
When you speak with confidence, a lot of people, they tend to there's usually like a certain reactions. They either tend to accept it and they respect that confidence. They tend to be drawn back by that confidence, or they tend to dislike you because of that confidence. And I've had that, especially in the military. So like in the military, I'm in engineering. They call me an engineering assistant because technically you can't call us actual engineers if we don't have a degree. Boom, whatever.
Oh,
so I'm an engineering.
Foul.
That's just the way it is. It's technical and legal stuff behind it. To be fair, if I was a full legalized professional engineer, that means I would have to sign off on like legal structures, and I honestly don't want that responsibility right now. So, but one of the things is what we practice is close to civil engineering with like road surveys, design, and like soil stabilization. And in one of my deployments to Spain, there was a road design that they wanted to do for this project. The way they designed this road was just probably the dumbest and most waste of resources and money ever. And I called it out on that. I was like, this is a stupid design. And they was like, well, we don't got an actual engineer to redesign a road. And that's like, well, luckily we are trained in that same aspects. The only thing that makes us different is our skills are a little bit more basic, as well as we just don't have a degree to follow up and be called actual engineers. But I could redesign that road for you. And they're like, well, the short term for our job is EA. And they're like, well, EAs don't know how to design a road. And I had to correct them. No EA you met know how to design a road. So since that day, and one of my supervisors used to always tell me, he's like, a lot of people honestly don't like you. He's like, and I will quote unquote when they say this, you make people feel stupid when they talk to you. And I'm just like, what is that even supposed to mean? He's like, people feel like you belittle them. I was like, I really don't try to belittle anybody. I was like, I can be condescending if you want to see that. I was like, but I really don't concern myself with that much attention to try to condescend on somebody. He's like, well, that's how people feel. Like, I can't help their feelings, man. It's just the way I am.
Some people just
I know my job, and you're not going to tell me otherwise.
That's the insecurity showing.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, I run into with my job, they want to call me a subject matter expert when it's convenient to them, but then when it's not convenient to them, it's like, well, you don't know what you're doing. Then they come back and was like, hey, we need you to fix this, and I'm just sitting there like, really? If you would have just listed like 2 months ago, we wouldn't even be doing this shit. So. Okay. I understand where you're coming from, and on the other part about it though is, on the flip side of that coin, they say they send you into these black neighborhoods because you're black, and they think that's gonna you can connect to them more easier. But what they probably don't see is the flip side of that coin, because I mean we do know how our people are sometimes. They're gonna look at that with like, you're a sellout. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna look at that like you're a puppet, you're just a tool being used, and it creates more issues than it actually resolves.
Right.
That's facts. I get that when I'm a security guard.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Top flight.
Uncle Tom. I should call him Uncle Tom.
Oh my God.
But,
you serious?
I want to pose a question to the group. I know we got like 20, 30 minutes left before this video.
I know we got to keep this going because we ain't even.
We only got 30. We haven't even scratched the surface.
No, that's the thing. It records a certain amount of time, and then I have to restart it. So whenever it has to restart, I'll let y'all know. Then we'll stop back. So, but I want to pose this question to the group. Going back to the girl I was telling you about, do you think it's more so with insecurity with her for not wanting to deal with any issue she sees in herself, and making it's just easy to just blame the whole race?
All right.
It could be. I mean, sometimes you do have to look within yourself when you're trying to find a partner, because when you do try to find love, what am I trying to say? When you are trying to find love, like, you don't want any kind of baggage or your past interfering with a new relationship, because that could, cause a hindrance. I've never been in a relationship personally, so maybe I'm not really the best person to answer this question.
Well, no,
However,
you hit the
I
nail
think
on
you're
the
the
head.
exact person to
Yeah.
answer this question.
I feel like you hit the nail on the head on that one. You have to, like, let's look at this whole quarantine situation. People can't handle staying inside because they are not used to looking at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
People are always trying to find a new form of escapism to try to get away from their own self-reality. And it's something my old man used to say to me: if you are not comfortable with being by yourself, you cannot expect other people to be comfortable to be around you.
Exactly.
And going back to the story of my wife, when my wife said what she said to me, and I had to take that moment of clarification and realize my issues, my hatred, my anger that I was carrying with me from relationships that didn't work, that I was pushing onto other people. And I had to look at it and be like, damn, maybe I'm the fucking problem. My anger is the issue. And that's the thing about it, though, is if you find yourself in a repetitive pattern, 9 out of 10, you're the issue for that pattern because you're the one who keeps picking that pattern. It's like walking down the street that you know you got robbed on, and you walk down that street 5 more times and get robbed 5 more times, and you're like, damn it, these crooks on the street. Well, yeah, the crooks are at fault, but you should know at this point not to go down the goddamn street.
Can I just say that the question skips down that street? Can I just point out?
I'm just going to say, like,
I just watch him do it
every time.
I just watch him do it. Just a nice little red Robin Hood skip.
What if that's the only like way to the substation though? What if there's no other way to the substation?
I will
can't
say,
believe that there's always multiple routes to get to one point.
I will say this comes back to the environment, because where she stays, I guess she mainly dates in the community. She doesn't venture out. She doesn't venture out.
Idea.
Yeah, so I mean, it's most of the same people. I mean, there are different personalities in there, but technically everybody was raised the same. So you're basically getting, it's the ratio of people with different personalities is severely slimmer than dating someone that you've never dated before with a personality like that.
We talked about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, that was it.
No, she was trying to say something. That's why I was saying, go ahead.
I mean, to kind of piggyback off of that little situation, you do have to look at the environment, because if you have a person, and to be honest, our generation is so fucked, like severely fucked. And
that's facts.
The reason I'm saying that is because so many of us, either we rely too much on our family who has been doing the same things that's not working for this generation, or they're relying too much on social media, and again, it's still not working for this generation. So if you got somebody, or if you have somebody who doesn't have the confidence, because I won't say it might, to answer your question, I don't agree that it might be her insecurity. It might just be like she don't know, because nobody has ever pointed it out to her. And since you said where she's dating in that same little community, all she's seen her life that she can really associate her thought process with might just be in that community, which is why what she is doing, she don't see is wrong. So the next thing to do is to blame it on what you can actually see instead of what you're willing to acknowledge.
That's
true. This is very true.
I mean, that's going back to, like, all right, BB. Speaking towards our experience, we lived in Orangeburg for college. We can't. Now, think of the most rural place you can think of and add a city to it. That's Orangeburg. Now, let's even break it down to the two. All right, I went to South Carolina State, so did BB, and right next to us, connected to a gate, was Claflin. Two different environments, two completely separate group of minds meshing together. Now, nobody from state dated people from state like that. They dated Claflin people. And
I beg to differ. I dated state people.
Well, you was hard. Me and you was different.
I just want to know I went to South Carolina State too. Not just him. Yeah, he did. He forgets me.
Oh, you did. I remember you. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But like, it's not. I don't mean that to say that it was bad. I mean that to say that people wanted that divide, wanted to date somebody from a different, I guess you can literally say across the fence. You know, they wanted something different. Because the people at Claflin, not that they were any different to us, they acted just like us. It was just that it was something different.
Well, kind of, sort of, they acted like us because, you know, whenever the parties came out, everybody came across the fence. Homecoming, everybody came across the fence.
Who house was they at? Who house was they at?
Exactly. Always across the railroad tracks and the fence. Which and that is actually, if anybody has a chance to Google Orangeburg, South Carolina, and look up those two colleges, you will literally see in some portions it's literally a railroad track. And you know how some people say, well, don't go down that, you on the wrong side of the railroad tracks, boy. Where you at? You on the wrong side of the railroad? That is actually exactly how it pretty much is.
Oh wow.
So if you, I got some shit I want to say, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let somebody else go because I'll go on a rant if I start on this topic. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Drew.
I'm gonna relate to your friend because when I go outside my community, I get a lot of love from different cultures, not my own. My own look at me like, no, he got hoes, or he might be just like the mother did. So I would feel that, and I would feel that tension because when I grew up in Charleston, you didn't get that that love, that love growing up in Charleston. My dark skin didn't get me that love. You know what I'm saying? Affirmation that you are a beautiful human being. You know what I'm saying? Instilling that in you. You are a young Black king. They let us know by teaching us about our history, but they didn't say that to you like every day, like you're gonna be somebody. You are handsome, you are beautiful, you know, go out there and be great.
We both of us literally have been told by family members that we weren't gonna make it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I got told either I was gonna be in jail or 6 feet under. And then one time I got told, you're gonna grow up and you're gonna marry a white woman. I'm like, what? I said,
I get family members still asking me when I'm just gonna get a white girl.
Pretty much. Because I'm not because if you go to Charleston, you will see that me and Brandon are not the typical Charleston person. You know what I'm saying? We're a little different. We want more for ourselves than just Charleston. So we get treated a little differently. Just like, when I came home from being in the military and going to college, I came back home. I get around my friends who've been in Charleston the whole time. They said, you dress in white. Oh, you talk white. Like, what?
All he did was literally tuck his shirt into his pants.
This right there.
I was there for
right
this.
There,
all he did was literally walk around with his shirt tucked into his pants.
That right there is the reason why I've never been back to Philly since 2012. Right.
but this, like, my mom told me I dress white.
It's usually your family, man.
My mama.
It's usually your family. Dude, look, okay, I'll put it like this. You want to know one of the kind of like, oh God, I had a cousin. I mean, like, I had to learn how to fight anyway. I mean, I guess. But one of my cousins, I mean, this dude was huge. I won't even say his name. Let's call him V. Was a big brother. I'm talking about like 6'4", 300 something pounds. I mean, this was a huge nigga. And at 10 years old, they decided, you know, Jay likes that Japanese shit. Yeah, let's teach him how to fight. Man, got me out here getting my ass whipped by a 28-year-old, man. He like, I'm already scared of this, man. He goes like, put your hands up. I'm like, I don't want to. Put your hands up. I don't want to.
But I don't mean to cut you off, but to be honest with you, I kind of respect that he did that because in a way, our culture still to this day really don't accept us when we start liking that type of stuff.
And you're right. Because if it wasn't for that, man, middle school and high school would have been rough. And that's where I was talking to you, Brandon, about that. So like, I was a different person when I was in high school. I was just, when I hit like 14, I was fed up. I was done. You touched my comic book, it was on site. That you put your hands on my comic book, it was on site. I would use anything as a weapon. If you started beating my ass, I'm smacking you with the lunch tray. I'm not losing this fight.
Not the sloppy joes.
I'm not losing this fight.
It got to a point. You really do get to a point where your love for the fandom overshadows any fear you have of being teased. Because you just grow that skin, and it just gets to the point where you just don't care. Like I told you, I was in college playing Yu-Gi-Oh in public with friends.
I was sitting right next to him. I wasn't playing.
Like I still got my cards, bro. We wasn't super nerdy about it. It was just something we enjoyed doing. It's the same way Black families get together and play spades. That was just something we do to pass the time. It was something fun for us. I don't know how to play spades, but I know how to trigger a trap card. I mean, like I'll throw down a trap card like a fucking spade in a heartbeat. Listen.
What a free do.
What? Listen. All right. First of all, I keep that motherfucking thing on me. All right. I keep that thing on me. All right.
This man pulled out an entire Egyptian god card.
I'm done.
Of course, you got the most broke god card.
Right?
And like 5 different
goddamn card.
I was so sick of that show. Like, oh, the Winged Dragon of Ra can do this now. Like, when was this established?
You know what? But it was perfect. It was perfect because only the most broke god card can be beaten by protagonist power. That was the only way that was going to happen.
Amber, I've already told Jada story. I'm gonna explain to you the exact moment I fell out of love with Yu-Gi-Oh. All right, I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh. I was a hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I was watching it, and I always had a feeling that they would just make up cards to make the protagonist win, which I was okay with for the most part. And then one episode, the chick used a card that let her summon a dark magician from somebody else's deck. The card got out the person's deck, flew to her hand, and she summoned it straight to the field. Like, I changed the channel. I was like,
Well, that was some BS.
You remember it? You saw it? Yes. I was like, and done. It was Taya.
It was the arc when they was in like virtual world and she was fighting that fucking penguin.
That shit.
The cards and the power of friendship is bad enough, but when
Yugi used to pull some shit out his ass to win them battles.
Yes, he used to make up cards. I had no doubt in my mind he would turn around, draw on the card, and then play it.
Wait, but like the fight when he was fighting Pegasus and I forget the one-eyed restriction demon, and he used Karibo to block all the eyes. He's like, bro, you can't even do that. That's not even.
No, they made a card for that.
It's possible.
They made it.
It's possible now.
Oh Jesus!
They made a card for that. Like Amber said, the power of friendship. That's an actual Yu-Gi-Oh card now.
Get out! Seriously?
They made that into an actual Yu-Gi-Oh card.
But I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh since like.
If your friend is standing near you, you can use a card from their deck or something like that.
Oh wow!
I mean, it has to be your friend. I mean, if you're in the middle of a tournament, can you just call out a straight stranger? Like, hey man, you got that Blue Eyes Ultimate? I saw you use it earlier. Just let me get that real fast.
That is the reason why they have restricted cards.
This is stupid. Like, hold on, bro. Let me hold on.
Can you imagine though? You're in the middle of a tournament. You use that card. You just start going through people's decks all in the building just to find a card.
Your card.
It says,
like, oh, he got an Egyptian god card. Bet I'm gonna borrow this real fast. You just jump on a bike. Does anybody got this card?
Throw it down right now. Give me the card.
Stand right there. I'll give it back.
All right. Now back to regular.
Yeah, we got off topic.
But we're nerds. That's the thing. It's great about that. We all do that. But back to the serious conversation.
I mean, best part about being a nerd, I think, as most like people can say. Like, I'm gonna be fair. My brothers and sisters who listen, and y'all can say what y'all want about black nerds. The best part about being a black nerd that I personally love is as you go through life, you deal with the same old shit people say. I mean, I can't tell you the same times I've heard the same joke. And after a while, you're just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like you reach how Brandon would say, you just don't care. You are who you are, and you know it. you don't really care. And you move through your life that way. And at that point, I think that's what your friend, she needs to find. Someone who is comfortable with who they are. Because the problem is, she keeps, like, let's be dead ass. Most of these thugs ain't thugs. It's an image. Because you know what? I tried to wear the, I say I tried, because I think it was pretty obvious that I wasn't a thug. But I tried to wear the same image through high school because it was a way to keep other people at bay. But we all know in those kind of environments, you either fit the description or you don't. And if you look like an outcast, you're going to get treated like one. If you act like someone not to fuck with, the people won't fuck with you. But the problem is, people get so deep in their own lie, they start acting that way because of, well, in a sense of speaking, peer pressure. So she needs to find someone who's true to themselves. And like you said, these are traits you can find in any race.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're at the end of the segment before we jump into the next segment. So, do you feel like, we're going to go to everybody, do you feel like she's justified in her thought process? Me,
Heck no.
Hell no. You knew that was coming. That's a gavel.
I know.
You mean?
I know. This was a landslide. This was a landslide. The next conversation, I think it'll be different.
Are we talking about which one we talking about?
You will find out. This has been Powerless, everybody. Say peace.
Deuce.
Episode 1.
I'm down for this.